just want to say, I want to start here. This is my first time getting on one of these stages.
Well,
And
thank you. We
so
appreciate that.
I
Thank
don't,
you for coming up.
you're welcome. Um, I don't want to do any disrespectful shit. I'm not arguing with anyone. There's some points that I would like to address here and there, but I don't specifically have anything to say at this moment. But
Well, can I ask you a question? It's
sure,
something I've been wondering.
sure.
Do you think the way you handled Van Lathan was fair with that tweet?
Van Lathan and I had a conversation after, well, had several conversations, maybe 7 of them, all an hour length. The end result being him crying on the phone with me. He has apologized profusely, and there are things and details that you guys aren't privy to that can't be captured in 280 characters. But yes, I do. And when I reposted on my Instagram page, I said that I stand on my initial post. I am not backtracking, and that I posted that the day after he and I had spoke several times. I stand on that post, but I also will say that I don't think he did it maliciously. I believe the phone calls that he made after declining interview or after he made his assessment of the situation, where he called 2 men that were in, part of the conversation to tell them what was discussed. And I think it was just foul and fucked up. It put women in very dangerous situations. And I think that happened because he was fresh on the scene and he was gullible and thought that these men were his friends or these people in the industry are friends. And they're not, because immediately after the phone calls that he made, I was called and I was told everything that was said. So there's that.
Okay.
But I do want to go on record and say the way that he did get dragged and was placed in the same tier as the 2 men, I will say that that's unfair because I don't know of him being an abusive man. I will say that his ass was a little bit too chipper and a little too chatty patty, and I told him this directly. And I think he just ended up being collateral damage because he was fucking with 2 big dogs and putting women in very dangerous positions, unbeknownst to him.
Okay. Um, when you tweeted earlier that somebody on Joe's couch really does despise him, I did the math because you know me. You know I be with the calculus and
Let
shit
me
like
let me
that.
see who's talking. This is the Jameson guy. Who's
Wait, wait,
talking?
wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait.
that's James.
You know who Jameson
That's
is?
No, no,
definitely
no. I don't.
Jameson.
I'm saying that because you just your previous moment with saying how why would people lie, and I know what I know. That was just weird to me. So I just want to make sure I know who I'm talking to.
My name's Will.
Okay.
Um, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. So I did the math, and that could basically either be Ice or Ish.
I mean,
Which
this
one of
this
them
this,
hates
this
Joe?
isn't a this isn't a tell all. This is a group of people that know each other for well over a decade. We're talking 15, 20 years. So things go in waves, and it is what it is. But they know what I said, and not one of them will clap back or refute. So that's that.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything to anybody directly.
They know.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the ones who know.
They know, and anyone
She's dropping
with a brain
breadcrumbs,
cell
basically.
that can do a tad bit of math can figure that one out.
Ah, damn! I
So,
gotta
but
work
let
on
me
my
ask you a
math. I
question.
only got it to Ice or
Why,
Ish.
why right now when Diddy's going through all of this, like everybody want to
Well,
wake up
here's the
stuff
thing
about
that
Joe?
what I find funny about that is when people say why now, specifically when it comes to me, because I've been voicing my opinion for the longest time and my stance on things and my sentiment on things for a very long time, but it's gotten overlooked or it's gotten overshadowed, and people automatically side with the person that has the power of the mic. So this isn't brand new. We can scroll back in my Twitter forever and a day, on my Instagram forever and a day. I've always had shit to say.
No, I get you on that one. No, I get you on that one. But you don't think that now that
Now is
Diddy is
you know
going
what? I'll be honest
through
with you.
it, like
Now
it's nasty. That looks nasty.
here's the
Like
thing.
you don't think?
I don't give a fuck about it seeming nasty. What's nasty is the things that are being done to women. That's nasty.
I get that
And
part.
so
That's
me
agreed.
using my platform at a time now where there are people who are willing to accept the truth and embrace the truth, this is for them. This is not for the fan club that's going to refute and debate everything you have to say and say, "Oh, it's not the right time," and "Oh, you're trying to get attention." This ain't for them. Because those people are going to be stuck on their ignorance and they're going to stand on their stance no matter what's being said. This is for the women and men who don't really know what's happening, who don't know the types of people that they're putting on a pedestal.
Can I ask you?
No, I wouldn't say
I
that.
want to ask Raqi another
I
question.
wouldn't say that.
So you alluded to the fact that Joe's been abusive for a while. You and Joe used to be cool. Did you see anything?
He knows.
Did you?
Well, forget see anything. I had my own situation with him that was broadcasted on national TV, the edited version, which millions of people thought that shit was fucking funny.
Were you scared to go like to the police about Joe or anything?
I So here's the thing. Let me explain to you for myself in that instance. I was contracted to Love and Hip Hop for 6 seasons. You understand? When you have a contract, you basically are waiving the right to sue and to do a lot of different things, right? Or they can sue you. Production days are $45,000 a day. You delay production, you are liable to get sued for those things. At that point in time, I was not willing to take that risk. Fast forward months and months later, after filming, I did a Vlad interview and he asked me the same thing. Were you willing to go to the police? And what I said to him was, I am not cut from that cloth. I wasn't raised on that side of town. And at 46 years old now, I understand that I was mildly ignorant in that way, or upholding a culture that has done damage to people, myself included. But I thought that was some G code shit to not call the police and handle things the best way I could at that time.
But you were
To
fucking with Joe
not
like
call the
even after that,
police
right?
with DV though? Oh,
You know what I
but
find to be really
Dub,
funny?
Yeah, it
You
sounds
know
Dub,
what
I
I
about
find
guess
right.
you
really,
was
really
right
funny?
about what you said. I guess it was like you said, it's so common in other
There's
relationships
several.
and things. But I
I
just
want to. I
I
want to
don't
say
think
this.
that's what it
Can I
is
say
at all.
something? Wait. Let me finish that thought.
Damn.
There's several reasons why women in general don't go to the police. Right? It's a cultural thing. We were raised under the no snitching banner. We're also aware that a lot of times the police don't give a fuck. There's so many women getting their ass whooped on a daily basis. We're just one in millions. Okay? There's that. There's also
Wait, so if you get your ass whooped, you're not going to the police by
Are you
men?
Wait, that's not what
crazy?
she's saying, y'all. That's
How
not what
many
she's
times
saying.
are black
yeah,
women
Dub. She
and
didn't. She not saying that, Dub.
non-white women told that if you call the police on a black man, you're putting his life on the line? Don't call the police. Call your uncle. Call the neighbor.
So
Leave. Do anything you can.
don't
Don't
save
call the
your
police
life
on a
to
black
save
man.
somebody's life who is
That
domestically
is what
abusing you.
that is what women
that is
of
what
color
we have
are
been
taught.
programmed with our entire
That is what
life
we're
as
taught.
black.
That's our culture,
Do not
y'all.
put a
We know
black
what
Hey,
the
man
yo,
on the
she
culture
ain't
is.
line.
lying. People are saying that she ain't making up no lie. People have said that, bro.
No, no, no,
Go for
no,
real.
no.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not
Rocky,
going
I'm
against
just
people saying that they said that. I definitely heard that as well. But I'm saying that like I don't just the
You don't have
You're
to
arguing
agree. It's
against
just it is what
programming.
it is.
I think we should
but
just
she
let
also
Rocky
said she was
speak,
ignorant, you know.
and I have
when she
something
was
I
younger.
want to
So
ask
you,
her.
yeah.
Yeah, most people are ignorant when they're young. I want to give Rocky the space to speak, and I would love to ask her a question when she's done.
There's also the element of the illusion of loyalty, right? Where I don't want to even talk in general, specifically to that situation. At that time, I felt that I had to have some form of loyalty to someone who I thought was a friend,
And that's Joe.
someone who at that yes, someone who at that time was on drugs, right? So the idea of going,
Don't wow on him, man. Here, don't wow on Joe too much, though. Don't
what do you
wow on
mean?
Joe too much.
It's that's public
Can we
knowledge.
just allow her to give her statement? Thank you. I know it's your space, Dub. I'm not trying to step
Dub, you
on
gotta
it,
change
but
the
it's
title
I'm
only
not
too.
gonna
trying to
work
violate.
best if she's able to say what she wants to say.
So at that time, he was what I considered a friend, and I gave grace. because I knew he wasn't in his right mind. And that's that on that. Else.
So I really just want to ask you a question, sis, and I promise, like, I want to make sure you understand, like, I'm never on men's side. That's just not who I am. What I know does not allow me to be that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The genuine question I have for you is just that, do you feel like there's a such thing as a redemption arc? Like, I read through your tweets today. I read
Mm-hmm.
through it myself, and I know you said, well, listen, if there was a redemption arc, he ended it when he did what he did to me in 20, I think you said 2018, or just a few years ago, right? My question to you is there a such thing as, and I don't believe in an expiration date on abusers at all, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm very clear that narcissists in therapy are still narcissists. Okay, they're just in
Mm-hmm.
therapy, and a lot of times they're taking what they're learning to learn how to abuse better. Okay,
Right.
so that's not lost upon me. My question is, at what point is it on the victim to just heal, to let it go? Because it's not. It's, and I only say that to the extent that I'm not one of those people that, oh, if you don't forgive, it only hurts you. Da, da, da. I'm not one of those people. But you can't get water out of a, turnip, or what, you know what I'm trying to say. You can't get juice out of a turnip, or whatever the saying is. Where he's not gonna come back and say, okay, he's. I feel like and I can't speak for Joe at all. I don't profess to speak for him. I'm not his attorney, but I don't think you're getting anything more than what you've already gotten. It's not gonna be anything
Right.
more.
Right.
So at what point do we say, okay, I'm not going to keep trying this because it's not working, and I need to just and I'm more so directing this towards Tahiri's statements, because it's been so long since they've been together,
Mm-hmm.
that where does the onus fall on women to say, listen, let's just try to heal from this. Let me try to move on from this, because me living in this trauma is not helping me. That's really my
Right.
question.
So to that, I want to say that I can't speak for Tahiri or any woman, but I like to say that women try to move on with their lives, right? But then there's things that are triggering, right? So take for instance an abuser speaking on something like the Diddy situation. It's just how fucking dare you, right? And that's triggering in itself. Um, to answer your question as far as when will I take onus or just let it go, I have been vocal about this, and I understand that this may be not the greatest stance and can come off as a bitter person, which I'm not afraid of that language either, because there are things that happen in life that will make anyone bitter, right? So for me, it's been years where I've had opportunities taken off the table, where I've had loss of wages, etc., because of the narrative that someone I consider a friend, or the false narrative that someone I considered a friend planted on me. Every time I stick my neck out to do something different, it's, oh, this is Rocky Thunder from Love and Hip Hop. Oh, this is Joe's ex friend. Oh, this is the bitch that was obsessed with Joe. I still very much deal with that in this industry day in and day out, and it affects my livelihood. And so forgiving him when I did without an apology, thinking that that may possibly change the landscape of my livelihood and my career, for him to only turn around and go online and do this entire soliloquy about Rocky's crazy, Rocky's this and that, when those documents leaked about him and his people. Instead of taking accountability for that, he flipped it on me. And once again, the clock resets, and I'm getting bashed by millions of people. I have executives that are like, well, damn, you and Joe are still going through it. And what's that about? It's a lot for me. Yes. So if it comes off as bitter, I don't really care about that, because I am bitter. I am hurt. I am devastated by it.
Did you leak those documents, Rocky?
Absolutely not. And proven, it was proven that I did not. The actual green screen is behind the scenes on those documents. of Love and Hip Hop, a set that I had not been on for eons.
So I have a follow-up question for you, and I'm not trying to take over the stage. I know other people probably want to talk to you, Raqi, because I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm a logical person. I know you don't know me from a can of paint, but I'm all about women. I'm all about logic. I'm all about practicality. Like that's just I'm giving you my where I'm coming from. So I don't want
Hmm.
you to feel attacked because that's
Yeah. No, no,
not it.
I understand and I appreciate your tone and the line of questioning, because I too, I'm for the most part an emotionally intelligent person. I pray, I meditate. If you guys can hear my voice, I'm a little bit, shook up by this whole thing.
I
But
can tell you're upset. I could tell
I've
this
had
is
to
really
deal with this
affecting
shit
you.
for
That's
years.
obvious.
I had a clean slate prior to this whole Love and Hip Hop situation, and I want to address that as well. Prior to Love and Hip Hop, I think I was in another chat room. I think the guy Dubs. I don't know anybody here, but some of the guys that was in another room earlier was saying, "Oh, when I first really got put on to Joe was through Love and Hip Hop, and he's like a reality TV star." I brought Joe on Love and Hip Hop. That was my friend at that time, so I thought. I brought him on Love and Hip Hop. So imagine how I feel years later that I opened that door for him at a time where people did not care about him. He was the guy that was getting punched in the face by Raekwon or whoever. He was the quote unquote crackhead that didn't have a pot to piss in at the time. And I said, fuck it, let's do the shit together. And in a matter of 48 fucking hours, this dude flipped on me and my life has changed ever since. And
What
so
went
while
so wrong, Rocky?
say again,
What went so wrong?
what went so wrong with the show, with our friendship?
With all of it, like how did this go from this is my homeboy I'm putting on to the show to this nigga has ruined my life? Like what happened?
It literally was now how you guys see the show, right? It may look like episode one, episode two. Sometimes you'll see an episode that was filmed in March. You'll see it, and it'll seem like it was filmed in September. If you look at, okay, I can't even get into production details. Where things went wrong was within 48 hours of filming. That pool party was the first time Joe had sat with Tahiri or spoken to her in years. At that time, he still was very much still in love with that girl. At that time, which is on record, Joe was heavily influenced by the Molly, literally popping Molly minutes before the fucking camera started rolling. So when the love of his life is playing the role that she and I had agreed on, like, okay, girl, let's just get through this shit. Don't put your hands on me. Don't bring this up and I won't be mad. We can just throw drinks on each other and get through this shit. She's playing her role, I'm playing mine. The drinks get going, and he snaps on me and drags me.
And they don't show that on TV.
Oh no, they
I
not only do they show it, they don't show the full extent, but they've shown it, and they show it every fucking year of my life. So every year, whether it's Hulu or goddamn VH1, I'm getting bashed by new eyes of people who have never seen this show, and I become that bitch again. Every single year of my life, I have to see this shit. So no one can ask me, why are you still upset? Every year, I have a new family member like, whoa, I never seen this. I didn't know this about you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're
And I
saying.
don't get, I don't get, none of us get residuals for this shit. It affects my life every year.
I
I'm
okay,
about to
but
say
that's
something.
that's
I'm
around
about to say
2012.
something. You're not gonna like what I have to say, Raqi. You're not gonna like it, but I promise you, it comes from a feminine place of love and understanding and belief. And I say that with Joe on the stage, right? You might need to move on from this. And by move on from this, I mean from all of it. Like maybe it's not meant for you to be in entertainment no more. Maybe that
I've
was your
been,
arc. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way.
Mm,
I'm just trying to say if
That's
it's
that's not
still
fair to
affecting
say.
your life,
I,
maybe it's the rebrand.
I
And
I don't think
that is
that's
my
Raki's point
genuine,
though, right?
and I say that from a place of support for you because I feel like there's not going to be a healing thing from, and I this is me just assessing the situation. You're not going to, and I said this already before Joe was on stage. You're not getting more for Joe than you already got.
I
You've
don't
gotten
want
what you're going to
anything
get.
from Joe.
That's
That's
my point.
that's
So if you don't want nothing from him and you're not getting anything else from him,
so
then
why? So
you
then
gotta try to.
I have to be silenced and muted. I can't use my own platform form to voice my own opinion. The
You
same
R-
can,
as
but to
Rocky, what
what
I
So what
end?
you
Aren't
wait,
you?
I
Are
got a
you
whoa
not
whoa whoa
question.
whoa
inviting more
whoa.
one
harassment?
mic, guys.
Oh, can I just ask her a
Calm
question?
Wait
down,
Because
calm
wait.
down,
I
guys.
can't.
Calm
you
down.
said
I'm not
that
gonna
this
do
is
like too much.
no. I just want to ask because you just said you didn't want anything from Joe. So I'm guessing right now at this point what it is that you do want because you mentioned it's your platform. You can speak on what you want, which you totally can. But if that's the case, wouldn't you speak on it on like any time you saw fit? It just seems that any time that there's this type of
No,
discourse
no. What
is
happens
when
is that
it
this is when
particularly comes up versus you
no.
just
This is
going
when
on your
people
page to
pay
talk about
attention.
experiences.
This is when people pay attention. I've always voiced the same sentiment, the same opinion. It's just people pay attention when it's at the height.
But
This isn't anything new.
Rocky, I feel you. But you're talking about a situation that happened around 2012, 2013. You've dealt with Joe after that, correct? Like
Yes,
you're saying it all went bad at the pool
I
party,
said that
but
I
you
100.
also
Mhm. Go
you
ahead.
also said that you had forgiven him and y'all relationship had moved on after that. So
Right.
I'm wondering like
What
after
happened
that then what
again?
happened?
What happened again was a situation between him and someone else who I was the mutual party between both of them. And then I end up getting slandered online, being called, all types of crazy and this, that, and the other. Instead of him taking the accountability or her taking the accountability, Rocky once again gets tossed in the middle of some shit when I was their go-to person. So the clock got reset then.